Hi guys, welcome to Flip the Deck Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is going to be all about your month of June 2022. So we're going to be taking a look at what's coming your way in the month of June, get some messages and advice for you to head into the month knowing exactly what to expect. We have 3 readings to choose from today. For reading number 1, we have Amethyst. For reading number 2, we have this green tourmalinated quartz. So this is a clear quartz with green tourmaline inclusions in it. And for reading number 3, we have this super dark smoky quartz. So take as much time as you need to pick your reading. I'm going to leave your timestamps down below in the description box. I'm going to go ahead and jump in with reading number 1, and I will see you in your reading. Hi, number 1, if you picked the Amethyst, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what is coming your way for the month of June 2022. So let's jump right into your tarot cards and kind of see what the energy is like for you in the month of June. So to start off, we have the Innocence of Pentacles. So this is the Page of Pentacles in traditional tarot. Really strong earth energy here. I'm already picking up on. There might be some financial abundance headed your way for the month of June. With your reading opening up with Pentacles is kind of a good sign. Let's go ahead and turn over the other 2 cards and see what else you have. You have the Universe. So this is the World card in traditional tarot. And you also have the Fool. So 2 major arcana coming out right off. Wow, there's actually a lot of energy here of some kind of new beginning for you in the month of June. So kind of from all 3 of your cards, I'm picking up on some kind of newness, some kind of new beginning. With the Page of Pentacles, the pages are always about like that very beginning energy, that that newness, that like willingness to set out on some sort of adventure. With the Universe or the World card, we have a cycle closing out, something kind of finishing off, something ending in your life so that you can start a new beginning. And then we also have the Fool card, and the Fool is all about new beginnings, because the Fool is really willing and open to just take that step, just to dive in, to try something new, to be adventurous enough to just take off on a new path. So it looks like June might be the start of something new for you. I think this is sort of symbolic because June is that halfway mark. So we are halfway through the year. And I think that there might be some kind of energy where for the first part of the year, you might have put a lot of effort and a lot of your focus into a particular area of your life, or maybe more than one area of your life. And it looks like as you approach June, you might start to either take off on a new path or be able to release the reins on whatever it is you've been working on a little bit and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So this kind of gives me the energy of like you really being on your grind for the first 6 months of the year, the first 5 months of the year. And now that we are hitting this halfway point, it feels like you're able to kind of enjoy a little bit. Like this might be a good time to take a little break or take a trip or something like that, because it looks like you have been on your grind. Now, we did open up the reading with a Pentacles card. So this is a strong indication that you may have been working really hard, like in your profession or in your studies, something like that, something that is tied to your financial life or your material abundance, really on your financial grind. And it looks like maybe June is like finally a chance for you to take a little bit of a break. Now, this doesn't feel like you're going to stop doing whatever you've been doing or working as hard as you have been, but it does feel like this is a time for you to like maybe recognize the level of achievement that you have reached. Maybe take a little bit of a break before you get right back on it, because I do kind of get the energy from you that whatever it is you're doing or working on or whatever's been important to you this first half of the year, it's not going to cease to be important, but it just feels like you may have reached some kind of level where it's like well, now this is operating easier on its own, or this doesn't need quite as much of my attention. This could be like you started a business and you've hired like an assistant now, so you don't have to worry about all of the little daily tasks. Or this could even be about finishing up like a semester at school or something like that, where you've been working really hard and now is kind of the time for you to recognize the achievement, recognize what you have given, like for these first 5 months, what you've given, and just kind of acknowledge that. So I am kind of picking up on, for some of you, because what keeps coming to mind is you've been on your grind so far this year, and that really doesn't have to do with hate when I say that, have to do that, doesn't necessarily have to do with your money or your finances, although it very well could. This could also be about mindset. Like this can be you've been really focused on trying to stay on your positive mindset grind. You might have been using some kind of affirmation to keep you kind of steady and focused. And it just feels like at this point, you're able to kind of explore a little bit of a new path. And it's one that feels like a little bit more fun, because the Fool is carefree. So this is you going into this month with a really carefree energy, with the energy of wanting to explore and kind of feeling like you are right on that cusp or right in some sort of transition period. I think that in June, you're going to start to see the benefit of some of the groundwork that you have laid. So if it has been a very busy year so far, if it has been a very trying year so far, and you've been really giving it everything you've got, and you're kind of looking forward to maybe the summer months, depending on where you are in the world, maybe you're looking forward to this time. It does feel like you're going into this month with this energy of like anything's possible, and like you want to kind of go off on a new adventure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's travel in the works for you. This might be something you've already planned. This also could be a completely spontaneous trip with the Fool. The Fool will pack his or her bags and take off at a moment's notice. So there could be an unexpected trip for you in June if you don't already have travel on the schedule. I could totally see that for you, but it does feel like you're just able to kind of loosen up a little bit, like you're going into June really clear and happy. Like I'm getting a happy energy from this. It feels like you're kind of seeing that the door is open for you in some area of your life, and the path is really clear in June. So you may have, like, up until this point, kind of felt like you were having to manually open the door. You were having to push against some obstacles, even if they're not huge obstacles. It's just, I think you have felt the work that you've been doing. Like it's not like you're like, oh, I'm not really doing anything. I'm not working on anything. I haven't really been focused on anything. You have been aware that you have a goal in mind, or several goals in mind, up until this point. And it feels like, almost like somebody's turning a dial to a new setting in June. And it's like that new setting comes with some kind of new opportunities, new adventures, new experiences, and you're ready for it. Like you're completely ready and on board for this, because it might have been something you've been preparing for, or something you've just been waiting for. So it's really good energy for you in June. I think that when I look at this, the Page of Pentacles, or the Innocence of Pentacles in this deck, and the Fool are both very open-minded and eager. So it looks like you're really ready to see what this new adventure is going to bring you. And like, you're ready to take on whatever it is. I feel like this is the most open you've been this year so far. Like this is the most ready and the most excited and willing that you have felt so far this year. I feel like the energy is like, and not everyone can relate to this because some people dread school. So I think it depends on kind of what your experience is or was, but like if you were or if you currently are the type of person who would get excited for the first day of school, then I feel like you're going to be able to immediately tap into and relate to this energy that I'm really trying to describe to you, because there's just kind of that excited feeling that you have like at the beginning of a new school year. Everything feels like fresh, and it feels like there's so many possibilities. There might be new people to get to know, new experiences that you're going to have, especially if it's like a year that you're super excited about. Maybe it's the year you graduate, or a year that you've looked forward to for a long time. It's like that kind of energy. It doesn't feel heavy or weighed down in any way. As we know, as we get deeper into things, sometimes the energy can become heavier. You can get bogged down with like your school assignments, if we kind of stay with this analogy. This is like first day before you've been assigned any big project that you're like totally dreading, you know. You're just excited about everything that could go right, and that's kind of the energy that you're approaching June with. I feel like you will likely be presented with some kind of opportunity this month, and this energy says that you're all in. Like if an opportunity comes your way this month, you're going to want to say yes. And looking at this, I would say yes, say absolutely yes, because it's going to be a new adventure for you. It's going to be something really exciting for you, and you're really at a point where you're ready for this, where you've been preparing for it, and where you've done the work ahead of time to be able to put your attention and your focus on some other parts of your life. So if there's some things that are like hanging around, you haven't gotten to it, or there's new fun things and adventures that you want to experience, but you've been really busy with your work, or just being very focused, this is the time for you to explore some of that. I think that like if there's any hesitation, if this new opportunity presents itself, you're completely ready. You're going to know that it's the right decision because you're ready. You're going to know because you're going to feel eager about it. You're going to feel open to it. I feel like even if this is an opportunity that has previously presented itself and it didn't seem appealing to you at the time, now you're going to be more open to it. On some level, you've been preparing for this. So for a lot of you, this really is related to money matters. So this, with this Pentacles, we can also be looking at something concerning health or fitness, maybe a health or fitness journey that you might want to go on, maybe something you want to pursue. There's also some energy here that if this was a new relationship. Now, we're going to look deeper. I don't know for sure if this is about a relationship. We don't have like cup cards on the table here, but we are talking about things going on in your material world, and relationships often fall into that category for me because this is something tangible. This is an actual person that you will be interacting with. So there's a lot of energy for newness when it comes to a new relationship or new experiences with another person or with a group of people. So it feels like you are open to these ideas, and like it's a good idea for you to say yes in June. Really the energy of like you're done with the old and you're ready to move on to bigger and better things, and you actually feel excited about it. This doesn't feel like old energy that you like you can't wait to get rid of, or like it was super toxic. There was nothing really wrong or flawed with like how you were doing things. It just feels like work that needed to be done prior to going into June. Yeah. I think that you're moving, it's giving me the energy of like coming to the end of some sort of contemplation about something, and you're moving out of a stage of planning and more into a stage of taking some more action. Kind of trying some of your ideas out in the real world and seeing firsthand how you will execute them exactly. And this is just that very beginning energy. It's that Fool energy of just trying some things out and just seeing what happens. This can also be just trying something out and seeing what sticks in some cases. So This might be that you are like, you have a lot of ideas and you've been putting in a lot of work to come up with what you want your next steps to be for the remainder of this year. And now it's like, let me try some of this stuff out and see what actually sticks, see what actually works, see what I enjoy or what I vibe with. So you're going into this part of the year with that energy, like, let me just see what happens, which is beautiful, beautiful energy. And I think that what I like about this is it doesn't feel like you're coming into this with a lot of preconceived notions or a lot of like negativity already built up. It seems like you're coming in completely open-minded and really just ready to see what happens, which is, that's great energy. I love that energy. So let's see what other kind of things are going on with you, what kind of energy you might be embodying during the month of June. We have the otter. I love that. I love that. This is the energy that like that I'm picking up on. Otter energy is super fun. And I think that June is going to be a really fun month for you. It could be some kind of exciting trip or like time with friends or family that's just really fun and carefree. But I do think that June is going to be a lot of fun. We have the sea serpent, and we'll get one more card. So I'm kind of clarifying the tarot cards a little bit, but we're really just looking at overall what the energies are and what kind of energy you're embodying. So we have the wolf. So yeah, I was kind of picking up on maybe this is a good time for you to connect with friends and family and have a lot of fun. It could be like a really fun trip where you're just super carefree and like just having a blast. So that wolf energy kind of gives me that same feeling, because the wolf is all about the pack. So your pack can be like your relatives. They can be also your chosen family. So this could be just people that you choose to spend time with, people that you really vibe with, and people that you have a lot of fun with. That's the most important thing. June is going to be a super fun month for you. I see you laughing a lot. I see you being a lot more adventurous and more playful. This otter energy is actually putting me right back into the energy of the Fool. It's kind of the same vibe here. It's just like, it's all happy. It's all happy energy. There's no thought of what I guess what I want to say is there's no negativity here. There's no negative thought. So you're actually very positive about your outlook when it comes to this month. Very positive going in, and I think it's something you're able to maintain throughout the entire month. What's funny is earlier I was saying that part of your grind could be that you were on some kind of mental grind, like a mindset grind. And if that's the case for you, where you've been working on having a more positive outlook, focusing on what's going right in your life, focusing on all the beautiful things, this could really be a sign that that's working. Like you're starting to see, oh, my mindset has actually shifted. Whereas before it was a lot of work, like you had to keep reminding yourself, you have to keep saying your affirmations, you have to catch all the negative thoughts and flip them so that you can view things more positively. In June, you might see that it's just coming naturally. Just your natural thoughts just lean more towards the positive, because you really are kind of embodying this really happy, fun, lighthearted energy. It's carefree, and it feels like you're ready to get out there and make things happen. This can also be an indication that when you step off that cliff and take a chance, if you think about, if you're familiar with like the traditional tarot, the Fool is kind of standing right on the edge of a cliff, ready to just step off, not even looking down, like not even concerned at all, completely unaware, completely unaware of what that next step is about to entail. So you have this sort of energy, but I love that this otter energy came out too, because this is kind of telling me that if you are right on the edge of some sort of decision or you're about to make a big change in June, the outcome of it is positive. Like your energy through the month is really positive. So if some of those little sneaky thoughts want to creep in and say, oh, this seems like a good idea, but what if this goes wrong? What if that happens? What if it doesn't work out? This is kind of like confirmation for you that it's all good. Like, take that chance, take that leap, say yes. I think that's like a lot of what this energy is. It's just the energy of saying yes. It's just the energy of being really open. I feel like you're releasing a lot of burdens this month and you're just ready to have some fun. So there's a part of you that doesn't want to take life so seriously right now. And there's a part of you that wants to celebrate your accomplishments and to give yourself a decent amount of time to really appreciate how far you've come. So a lot of the energy that I'm getting is it's you releasing the expectation that things are going to be hard for you. You're just kind of like, you're learning how to shape your life from a place of joy and from a place of ease and not from this like a feeling of striving or struggling. So for some of you that might resonate. It kind of depends on how your year has been going so far. And I feel like this is just that, it's like that turning point for you. It's where something clicks into place and the things that were hard, that were challenging, just like we were talking about with that mindset. Like if it was really hard to get yourself to stay in a particular mindset or to get yourself to focus on a particular thing, and you had to keep reminding yourself and you had to keep forcing yourself, it feels like it's all just coming so much more naturally to you. It feels like you're starting to see that it is possible for you to have everything that you want and to also have a lot of fun while you're creating that in your life. There's a lot of celebration this month. There's a lot of energy of celebration. You might have completed something that you've been working on for a while, or you're celebrating with somebody else that has achieved something. So this could be like, you might be graduating, or you might be celebrating a graduation with friends or family members, but it does feel like there's some level of completion here and accomplishment. There's a lot of creative energy around you as well. I think that you'll find that more and more of that stress and tension just melts away. And the more that happens, there's like an abundance of creativity that can flow through you at that point once you're not in a place of tension and stress. So I'm also seeing with this wolf card, we were talking about you maybe being around friends, family, people that make you happy this month. So I feel like you have a lot of unconditional love and support. This is either from those that are physically present in your life. This could also be the feeling of having universal love surrounding you this month and having a lot of guidance and protection from your angels and your guides. There's a strong indication of that with the universe card, which in this deck is called the universe, but it's like, I think the universe is really surrounding you and kind of keeping you safe, keeping you almost in this protective bubble in the month of June, and just opening doors for you, like just allowing things to be easy. With this sea serpent energy, it's a very loving energy. It's a very nurturing energy. And I think that's what you're feeling from the universe and also from those around you. And remember, you can really pick up on the universal energies and the energy that the universe is trying to supply to you through the people who are around you. So this also could be an indication, like if you're feeling the love this month, if you're feeling extra supported by friends and family, this is energy that the universe wanted to supply to you, wants to give to you. And they're using those around you and those close to you to do that. I think relationships look really nice for you. I think that you are, like I was saying, really surrounding yourself with people who uplift you. And you're putting yourself in situations where there's mutual love and there's mutual support. If you have some difficult relationships in your life, I feel like those relationships are actually the furthest thing from your mind during this month. It's kind of like, I'm just seeing like a Teflon frying pan. It's like you're Teflon to the BS this month. Uh, it's not even entering your experience. And if anyone comes at you with like anything that doesn't feel like joy, that doesn't feel happy, that doesn't feel uplifting, I honestly doubt you'll even notice it. That's what's interesting about this reading is like, I can pick up on that energy because I can just see if you're in this place, nothing negative is even going to come into your experience because you're not even a match for it. So this isn't a case of like you need to avoid certain people or put your foot down on certain matters. It doesn't feel like that at all. It actually feels like you won't even notice if there's negativity around you or if there's someone who isn't bringing the good vibes. You will just naturally migrate away from them and they won't really be a part of your experience for the month of June because they're not a match. Like, I don't know how else to say it. They're just really not a match. So they won't want to be around you and you won't want to be around them. And I doubt that, that this will even be an issue for you. So you're not even entertaining anything that doesn't feel good this month. The strong bonds that you have are getting stronger during June. And I feel like there is kind of the feeling that you're open and welcoming, to the idea of a new romantic relationship or new friendships this month. So the energy looks good for that if the opportunity presents itself. Like we were talking about, this is kind of the energy of like, say yes. So maybe this is about like somebody's gonna ask you out and it's like, just say yes, like just see what happens. Maybe don't worry so much about the long-term outcome because you never know. And I think saying yes to some things that might be a little bit outside of your comfort zone will present a lot of new and really exciting experiences for you this month. I feel like any new person that comes into your life during June is going to be a whole lot of fun and probably share a lot of like your common, you'll share a lot of hobbies and interests in common. I feel like these might be the kind of people who are only in your life for a season. It's funny because your reading just isn't really giving much indication about what is going to play out past this point. And I think that's kind of your energy for June. Because to be honest, I don't think you care. I think you are able to live more in the present moment and just enjoy what life is presenting to you right now without worrying so much about what's going to happen. So you might meet some wonderful people in the month of June. I don't know if they're going to be lifelong friends of yours or not. It's really not clear whether they will stick around, but you know what this could be? We were talking about maybe the opportunity to travel, and it's like you might meet some wonderful people that don't live near you. Like you might be in a different country or in a different city. So maybe you're just meeting fun people who are great to hang out with for a time, maybe great to reconnect with when you visit their area again. But I feel like those long-lasting bonds that you have is really represented by this wolf energy, and those bonds are strong, and there's like so much energy for new, fun, friendly, uplifting people to come into your life as well. Yeah, I think that's kind of all I'm seeing from this. So let's go ahead and let's get you some of these tea leaf cards and just see like what other energies are around you for the month of June. We might get even some advice at this point. I'm leaving this reading open. I tend to do that for the monthly readings because we never know what might be happening. Like, I just kind of want to get it all and just see what's going on for you for the month. So we have Ant. This is work, achievement, success. That's what we were talking about. Yeah. You have put in a lot of work thus far this year. And I do think like you're able, oh, I dropped your card. You're able to really kind of see the benefits of that pay off. We also have Archway. So this is new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. And we will pull one more of these. This is all, so far it's just confirmation. And then we have Whale, great worry over nothing. So yeah, Your month for June looks so positive that I think some of the things that you may have been concerned about leading up to this month, you're going to see, like, you don't need to worry about it. This could be about confidence that you're seeing in yourself. Like, you're developing some level of confidence where you're like, I was really worried about this. I didn't know if I could accomplish this. I didn't know if I could achieve this. I didn't know if I would reach the finish line. And now I have. And like, I was worried for nothing. I just think a lot of things are going to be opening up in a much more positive way for you in June. And any kind of concern that you had, it's like, it's a thing of the past. It's a real thing of the past. So if there is something that you are concerned about for June, maybe there is like a particular event that you're worried about. Maybe you're going to see somebody and you're worried that there might be tension. Maybe you are trying to get a job and you're really worried that that you won't, or something like that. It's like, in the end, it turns out that you were worrying for nothing. And that's always a good thing. So we have Gemini. This is this card says cross-pollinate. That Gemini energy is really, it's a social energy. I feel like it's interesting that this card came out and we also have a bee on the universe card. So you're a busy bee, you're a social bee. I think that there's the kind of this energy of like mixing and mingling and sharing ideas. I think that all of this energy is like, you have worked hard, but there's kind of this this feeling now of being able to network a little bit, meeting people who are interested in the same things that you're interested in, or maybe meeting someone who can open doors for you, because this energy really is about making connections. And these connections can sometimes make things a lot easier for us. So you might be meeting people who can open doors, meeting that right person who can introduce you to somebody who can like get you in the door, you know, maybe get you that job, get you that position, get somebody to listen to that song you've been working on, something like that. It feels like you are not only socializing for fun, I think you are socializing for fun for the most part, but I think in the process of doing that, you're actually able to create some connections that might be really helpful and might further I think it's going to further something for you for the rest of the year, further some of your efforts. Let's see what kind of advice we can get for you, and then we'll wrap up your reading. Okay. Advice for number 1 for the month of June, please. Go. Okay. We have positive affirmations, and we were talking about this. We were talking about this potentially being something that was like challenging for you, maybe at the beginning of the year. But yeah, positive affirmations. This card, if you add up the 4 and the 1, that's a 5. That's all about change. So it could be a change for you to be in this more positive mindset and to be able to sustain it all the time. But yeah, I think that your inner dialogue is really uplifting in the month of June. So it's really easy for us to be kind to ourselves and to stress less and keep that stress level down when we're being when we're able to see things from a more positive mindset. So yeah, I feel like that's just beautiful. And I don't even think that this is necessarily advice that you need. I think it's just a reminder, because I do think for a lot of you, this is where you've been going. This is what you've been working on. So yeah, positive affirmations. If you do feel like you're slipping into a negative place, if you feel like maybe that worry is creeping up again, just use your positive affirmations and remind yourself how capable you are, how beautiful you are, how brave you are, how loved you are, and just kind of let that carry you through, because I don't even think this is going to be much of an issue for you, but we all have those days, and you might have a few of them during the month of June. So that's just a reminder. Stay positive. Keep on your self-love game, and you're gonna be fine for June. Beautiful energy. So excited for you. I think this is gonna be a really fun month. I'm a little bit low-key jealous. Like, can I be number one? Because I would love to have a beautiful month like this for June. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. That's all the messages I see for you. If you liked this reading, if any part of it resonated for you, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again really soon in another reading. Bye. Hi, number 2, if you picked the green tourmalinated quartz, this is going to be your reading. We're going to see what energies are going to be around you for June and what you can expect to come your way for the month of June 2022. So let's go ahead and flip over your tarot cards and see what we've got here. So first we have the Ace of Swords. Maybe something new here. We have the Nine of Pentacles, and finally the Innocence of Wands. So that's the Page of Wands in traditional tarot. Really interesting here because with number 1, with reading number 1, it was all about the newness of things. So I think that potentially there is kind of a collective energy going on right now about new beginnings, about moving towards the start of a new path. So I feel like you are not outside of that current at this time. You are right in flow with, I think, what's happening in the collective right now, and there's a lot of newness. So you have an ace here, all about the beginning, the start of something, and you also have a page, and in reading number 1, we had a page as well. So pages are all about starting something new, about being kind of open-minded and being at that beginning phase of something. So definitely same kind of energy for you. There are some key differences I'm already seeing, but yeah, I think that's collective energy. I think that everyone's probably going to be experiencing some kind of shift and something new, some kind of new door opening or a new path becoming clear in the month of June. So I think that for you, you are absolutely full of new ideas during this month, and you're coming up with new ways to express yourself, new methods for pursuing the things that make you feel fulfilled. We're dealing with a Page of Wands here, so we are talking about a really passionate energy. We're talking about the things that bring you joy, the things that that kind of make you who you are. They light that fire in you, and they highlight your uniqueness. I think this is really a focus for you during the month. You know what's really interesting? I'm sort of picking up on this energy that for June, this might be a time that you feel called to branch out on your own a little bit. With this Nine of Pentacles here, it is a really independent energy. It's not a lonely energy by any stretch of the imagination. This is a card of choice. This is really a card of focusing on what you can control and making that choice. So you might be called to kind of veer off on your own path. As I'm looking at the cards here, each one of these cards just has one single animal in them. So this might be an indication that you are really like on your own wavelength here, that there's something that you might want to do or pursue that is really all about you as an individual person. And yeah, I think that you're kind of letting go of the expectation that you have to have, I want to say a partner. And when that's coming, like, as that was coming out of my mouth, I'm thinking, I wonder if for some of you that might be true in a romantic sense, because I wasn't picking up on it at all in a romantic way, but I wonder if that might be true for you, if there's something that you're moving away from in the month of June. Really more of the energy that I'm seeing is, it's more that you are feeling inspired by your own thoughts and your own imagination, and that you aren't afraid to explore as a solo operation this month. So Whether you are partnered with someone or not, or whether you have people that you typically like do things with, maybe family members or friends that you typically engage in activities with or something like that, it kind of feels like you are entering this place where if there's something that you want to do or pursue and it doesn't involve anyone else, or no one else is interested, or no one else is available, you're going to go ahead and make it happen. You're going to make it happen even if you are doing that by yourself. This is kind of giving me the feeling of finding your unique voice with this Ace of Swords here. It feels like you're answering some kind of call, and you're not letting the fact that you might need to answer that call on your own stop you. So I don't want you to misunderstand this and think that this is about you being lonely during the month or about you being alone. It's not that feeling at all. This is really more of an empowering feeling, because I don't see anything here that suggests that you're lonely. I think that this is more like you want to carve out some time for you to pursue the things that make you happy. And these are things that are uniquely yours. So this might be like, maybe you have a family and you are taking a little bit of time to like take a class you've wanted to take, or read a book you've wanted to read, or go and, I don't know, go and hike up a mountain that you've been wanting to hike up. and like, you're not telling anyone else that they need to come with you. You're not saying, oh, I couldn't possibly do that on my own, or I don't want to go and take that class by myself. You're more excited to explore and to experience what you want to experience, and something that's uniquely you. For some of you, this might be time that you have wanted to yourself for a long time. So yeah, it's really giving me more that feeling of like, this is a complete choice. And you're taking some time for yourself. You're carving out some time, maybe for some of you, some quiet time. If there's something you want to research or study, some quiet time. But you're not letting other people's opinions or other people's time constraints hinder you. You're actually taking the steps to pursue some of this stuff. So you're not waiting, I think, is the point that I'm trying to make. You're not waiting. You're like ready to tackle this on your own. For a lot of you, this could be like a solo business venture. This could even be solo travel at this time, if it's like you really wanted to go somewhere and you want to take the step to, like, you're going to take this trip by yourself, or maybe like you're traveling alone to go and meet with someone, meet a friend or something like that. It's like you're really just doing your own thing and doing what satisfies you. So I do kind of, with this Nine of Pentacles, I do think that for a lot of you, this could be a business venture. So this might be that you want to branch off and go into business for yourself. This could even be that you've been in some sort of partnership and you want to branch off and do a solo thing that you've had on your mind. For some reason, what's coming to mind is like when a band, like when someone that's in a band branches off to pursue their solo career, that kind of thing is coming to mind, which I know won't apply to everyone, but maybe it kind of will give you the energy of like kind of what I'm sensing here. It's just that feeling of like, hey, I've got my own things that I want to pursue. I have some music that I want to make, or I have this thing I want to explore. And yeah, like it's cool when we do these things together, but I've got some things that I want to take care of on my own. That's kind of the energy. I feel like June is a time for you to face a lot of your fears, because you might be tired of waiting. So if these are things that, like, it was kind of scary, the idea of you doing that on your own, it's kind of scary for you to start a business on your own, or it's scary for you to break away from the group and like pursue this thing. I feel like in June, it's like these fears are being wiped away and you're able to really move from a place of passion and really focus in on that desire that you have. And that desire is outweighing any kind of uneasiness that you had in pursuing these things on your own. Um, I'm also really drawn to the fact that there's birds on both of these cards. So birds are really a symbol of freedom. And I think you're really breaking away from anything that feels like it was holding you back. And I think a lot of it does have to do with this idea of like, I've just got to go out on that limb and I've got to pursue this thing, even though it was really scary. This could even be something that like you might have tried to get somebody on board with you. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we did this thing? And they're like, I don't know. And you're like, well, I really want to. Like it, like the desire hasn't gone away. And now you're realizing like, I can do this on my own. I can do this and make this happen for myself without needing somebody else to kind of like go along on this journey with me. So there's a lot of that kind of energy coming through for you. I feel like you're letting go of even patterns of thought that were limiting you. So if there was anything that was like telling you, oh, you can't do it, or you won't be successful at this, or like you're having those kind of thoughts, what if it doesn't work out for me, that type of thing, you're dropping a lot of that. You're dropping a lot of that so that you're able to just have fun and pursue what you want to pursue. It feels like a lot of clarity is coming in for you. And also I'm getting this feeling that like you really want to be stimulated this month. You're craving new experiences and new ideas. And that could be that collective energy again. But there is this like, you want the newness, you want the new experience, and you want that even more than it scares you. And that's what is allowing you to push forward and break through these barriers, even if you have to kind of like head down a path that is unfamiliar to you. You're able to do it because your desire to go down that path and to see what's there is far outweighing the fear of what might jump out at you as you walk down this path. So you might even be breaking away from your usual surroundings or from your usual circle of friends and family to branch out and do something that is really satisfying and fun for you. Also, there's a whole lot of energy here. Like, there's a whole lot of energy. You are going to be feeling energized both physically and mentally during this month. So it's really the perfect time for you to tackle projects that have been laying around, or like to finally get around to diving into some hobbies that you've been neglecting. Because you really are focusing on doing the things that make you feel good, just you individually, not so much how you can make everybody else feel good. I know that's probably still something that's very important to you and probably something that you're still going to be achieving this month, but it's like you're really turned inward to that passion and trying to figure out how you can pursue more of that. It feels like a lot of experimentation at this time. I really think that this energy for you, though, is going to be refreshing and going to be a welcome relief, because it feels like things are lining up for you in June. Like, you know, sometimes you have all the ideas in the world and you have absolutely no energy to execute them. And then other times you're like, it's like the reverse. Like, you have all this energy and all you can think about is wanting to pursue these things, but you don't have the time to do it. You have like your commitments at work, or you have family commitments or whatever, and it's like, oh, I finally feel like I could do this and I don't have the time. It's like the pieces come together in June. There is both the time and the energy for you to pursue things, and you feel really pumped up about it. And I feel like you get even more energized the more you kind of set down this path and like start to kind of light that fire, because I feel like that's what this Innocence of Wands is like. It's just that beginning stage. It's like it's a little flame. There's a little inkling, there's a little indication that there's some things that you want to be pursuing and that you're perfectly willing and able to pursue on your own. You want to do this on your own, and it's something to fulfill yourself. So it does feel like you're really trying to figure out how to turn that into like a blazing fire from a little flame. All of this feels like fresh energy for you, and it feels like you're not so worried about doing things the right way or about having like a very detailed plan. Instead, you're kind of enjoying yourself, and you're you're giving things a try without knowing exactly where it's going. So that's that page energy. The page is eager. The page doesn't know about any obstacles that may come their way. It's all fresh new energy, and it's actually beautiful energy. I think sometimes we don't need to see what the end goal is, or we don't need to make it about reaching that end goal. We just need to enjoy the present moment. So again, I feel like this is similar energy that was coming through in pile one. So I really think that might be kind of collective energy, but this is like letting go of a lot of worries and anxiety and just seeing where this takes you. Let's say there's something you want to learn more about or you want to pursue. If you're the type of person that tends to jump to like the end, like, and then this would result in me potentially like making this a business, or going back to school for this, or whatever. It's like, I think that this month, it's easier for you to just take it one step at a time. It's easier for you to not get overwhelmed by the big picture and by all of the things you might have to do and all of the things you might have to learn, and just focus on the enjoyment of it right now. That's really the energy. All of these cards suggest a lot of positive momentum. There's a really good chance that this freedom that you're allowing yourself to feel is a positive move in the right direction. By the end of the month, I think you're going to be seeing that. And you're going to be thanking yourself for branching out and for going after what you want, and for not letting maybe the fact that you need to go after that on your own stop you. Like you're not letting it scare you. Also, all of these animals are facing the same direction. This flamingo is looking back over its shoulder, but its whole body is oriented that same direction. So I think this is just another indication that it's like everything seems to be working in flow this month. And even if you're doing things that don't seem like they're going to produce any great result for you, or you're not even thinking along those lines, it's actually highly likely to lead to like a revelation of some sort for you, or a new direction for you. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of fulfillment. It's a card of abundance, and even like luxury. So luxury to me is like, it's more than enough. This might lead to something, or create something that creates a lot of abundance in your life, where your cup is overflowing. But it's like, the beauty of this is you don't have to worry about all of that right now. You're not worrying about all of that. So it's actually a really nice energy here. So let's see what else is going on. We'll use some of these animal spirit cards to see what energies are around you, maybe the energy that you are embodying. And in sort of an abstract way, I'm going to clarify these tarot cards, but really I'm just looking overall at what's going on for the month of June. So we have the dragon. Okay. Yeah. This dragon card can be about the self, about the ego, about seeing the true self. So I think that's that energy, that solo energy that I'm picking up on. You're really, you're learning a lot about yourself. And I feel like you may have learned a lot about yourself leading up to this month. And this is why you're able to pursue what you want to do. Because it's like, you kind of know like who you are and what's important. So you may have spent a lot of the beginning of this year so far defining your goals, defining where you want to go in life. And I feel like June might be the time for you to actually take some action and pursue some of that stuff. Even if it doesn't have to line up with what other people are doing, things might need to be rearranged. And I think that's what you're stepping into. Like, you know what, maybe this doesn't seem like it's the most convenient thing for everyone. I just dropped your card. Maybe I have to rearrange my schedule a little bit. Okay, I don't know what my neighbor's doing. Shout out to everybody with loud neighbors. Yeah, let me stop. Okay, sorry guys. My neighbor is doing something really loud. So I just shut the camera off for a minute I didn't want you to have to listen to that, but yeah, this dragon energy is really the energy of the self. So I think there's something that you want to pursue, and there's something that you're going to be going after this month. And, you know, then the bee came out. So this is actually something that you might really be interested in working hard at. Like, really putting in the effort. Like, maybe you want to learn something, or you want to pursue a new business or something like that. But it's like, if there's work required, you're not afraid of it. And we have the lamb. Okay. Your confidence is growing. A lot. Or your confidence has grown, because in June it just feels like you are super confident. You're able to imagine yourself in new scenarios that before would have scared you. You are able to go places, do things without kind of needing the support or the reassurance of others. It's like you're knowing yourself on a deep level. And I think this is why you have the guts to throw yourself into some kind of new arena in your life and into some like unfamiliar experiences. And we were talking about you being like super pumped up and energized, and then the bee comes out, and it's like, you really have more energy than you know what to do with during the month of June. You really do. You might have to keep your hands in several different projects and kind of keep yourself occupied in June. You might find that, because it does seem like you're very pumped up, you're very energized, you're very eager and excited, and it's beautiful. You really might feel like the world is moving at a much slower pace on a much slower timeline than you are. So it's important for you to stay active and to participate in the things that that do energize you, that excite you, that make you feel like you're feeding that busy bee in you. Because I feel like if you sit still during this month, or if you wait for the rest of the world to catch up, you're going to get really restless. I think that might be some more of that independent energy that I was picking up on. This is maybe a matter of like, you cannot wait for the rest of the world to catch up with you, because they're not going to. Like, you're on a different wavelength this month. And maybe leading up to this month, like, you have ideas. You've got plenty of ideas. You've got plenty of energy. You are inventive. You are bold. You're passionate. And, you know, some other people aren't there. So that might be why you have to just say, that's cool. If you just want to like chill, I'm going to go and do this. You might have to just make that decision, because you can't expect that everyone's going to be on this level. Because it's a really high level of achievement, of clarity. This might have been a long time coming for you. This might have been something that's brewing, but you're ready to go. You're ready to go. And it's like, you know, sometimes when you're ready to go, you just gotta go. You just go and do you, and let other people kind of like come in where they can, where they have something to offer, when they have the time or the energy. But I just feel like a lot of people aren't going to be able to keep up with you during June. Yeah, you're on a whole different level. One thing that's jumping out to me is that I think that during this month, people around you are going to start to see your value. So I think that in the process of that, I think maybe even first, you're seeing your own value, and that might be why you've come into the month with this sort of energy. But I think that like those around you are starting to really see it too, and you're starting to own it. So between those two things, it's like this is really becoming a more solid idea. So I feel like, for example, if you work in a really like thankless job, a thankless position, or maybe that's kind of the role you play in your family, where you're always doing everything and you're always keeping the pieces together, but it's like nobody notices, and it's almost like they have not truly considered what it would be like if you weren't there. And I think people are starting to see the role that you play during this month and how instrumental you are. So you're finally getting recognition for all that you do this month. And that might, for some of you, be because you do step away. You might step away to pursue some other things that you want to do. And in that absence, like during that time that you're gone, or during that time that you're not doing all of the things that you always do because you're just like, you're putting your focus somewhere else, I think that's when people really start to see how much you were really doing in the first place. So you offer a lot to the whole, you offer a lot to the group, and you're just one player. You're just one piece of the whole puzzle, but a really, really important piece. And people are starting to notice that. This could be the kind of energy that like I feel out before like a raise, before some sort of promotion, before, I think for some of you, this might be like a call from somebody that is totally unexpected, someone who did not appreciate you when they had you right there. So this might be that someone's reaching out to you in June to tell you how much your absence is affecting them, to tell you that the fact that you're not pouring all your energy into them so much, that they're really feeling that, because I think a lot of people don't notice it until it's gone. So whether you want to hear from that person or not, that's totally up to you. But I think in most cases you'll be willing to listen. We have like a really gentle energy here with this lamb. This is that understanding part of you. This is that part of you that knows that people can't keep up with you this month, and like you don't hold it against them. It just is what it is. Like you're just on a different level and you know it. So yeah, there's this really gentle kind of energy coming through for you. So let's get some tea leaf cards for you. Now the tea leaf cards, I'm leaving this super open. So this can be advice. This can be just more insight for the month. So you have yoke, feeling tied down or frustrated. It's super funny because I think that's that. This is that restless energy that I was talking about. Like people can't keep up with you, and if you wait for them, you are going to be very frustrated. If you wait until other people are ready to make that move, to take that step, to go to that place, you're going to be extremely frustrated because you were ready to do this yesterday. So I think that's some advice there for you to not wait around, and kind of a warning that you will become very frustrated. And then we have carriage. This is a journey, either physical or mental, definitely on some kind of journey here. I think for you it's both. I think it's a physical and a mental journey, because we were talking like you might be traveling. You're definitely on some kind of journey and some kind of mission during this month. And finally we have coins. Money will be coming to you. You also have the Nine of Pentacles, and I feel like these cards could be the same thing. So this is absolute confirmation. We were talking about potential raise or something like that this month. If you don't work for someone, you might work for yourself, or you might be looking to work for yourself. So this is like business ventures that are paying off, things that are working out. You're making the money that you're looking to make, and that's beautiful energy. And I think a lot of that comes from you being willing to pursue some of these things that interest you, that light you up, that you feel passionate about, some of those things that you don't mind working at. Because like with this bee energy, it's really the energy of like doing the work, but being totally happy to do it. So you might find yourself falling into a place where you don't notice that you're working because you're doing something that you enjoy so much, and the hours just fly by. Okay, let's pull a card for maybe a little bit of advice. I feel like this portion of the reading we can get a little bit of insight and advice if it wants to come through. Okay, we have solar calm. We were talking about your ideas being very focused and clear this month with this Ace of Swords. Solar calm is a time when creativity tends to blossom. This card talks about appreciating the deep, energizing quiet of the time. So it's really kind of, it's an odd energy. It's like the energy of things being more focused and things being able to um be energized in a very calm way. So if you think of focus as being calm in terms of it's very clear, like it's not muddled, your thoughts aren't going in 10,000 different directions. You're very, very focused, just like this Ace of Swords. It's a very focused energy. That's what this is. It's about using this energy to make the progress that you want to make. But also, I would say that with this card, there is a little bit of advice coming through to not burn yourself out here. So you're going to want to cram a lot into this month, which is great. But for the goals that are really important to you, the ones that have been with you for a while and the ones that you know are going to carry through past June, it's really important for you to play the long game here. So you want to make sure that you still have energy left to give when this month ends, so that you can keep crushing it, because it's not like these things that you have in mind, it's not like they're going to disappear at the end of June, or like you're going to fully complete them at the end of June. So you want to keep this energy going through the rest of the year. And the best way to do that is to, yes, pursue everything. Be very focused about it. Be very deliberate about it. But don't take it to the point of burnout, because it might take you a while to get back to this energized place, and then you'll lose the momentum that you had. So yeah, there is a little bit of advice there. It's kind of the perfect message for you, because solar calm is about the seemingly opposed idea of super high energy and then like the serene, peaceful energy. So yeah, it's about you balancing that out. Yeah, balancing those two ideas. It's almost like the energy of this bee and this lamb. So I think we're getting repeated messages, and whenever that happens, it's really your guides coming through, and they want you to know this. Like they want you going into June knowing this, that it's a balance between this busy bee energy and this super calm and gentle energy of the lamb. And you're gonna want to play that that balancing act during this month. You're going to want to go hard, give it all you've got, take a little bit of time to rest and to be easy, be gentle. Yeah, the clarity that you have during this month it's amazing. It's off the charts kind of clarity. So we'll pull one more card, definitely for advice this time. I really do use this deck for advice. So we will get a card from here, and then we'll wrap up your reading. So what kind of advice or messages do you have for number 2 for the month of June? Messages for number 2 for the month of June. And we have... Hold on, it's slipping. We have look at the stars, or look to the stars, sorry. Okay. It's funny because I'm like, what advice do you have? And it's like, look to the stars, I guess, for the advice. So maybe this isn't a very, very clear message. This might be something that you have to kind of explore and figure out on your own. But there are a couple things I want to point out in case this can be some great advice for you. So this really might be advice to look into your astrological placements for the month. So it could be things specifically going on for you in June. So to pull your chart and kind of see what's happening for you. This could also be your chart in general. Like if you've had kind of an interest in getting into the astrology of it all and kind of figuring out who you are, this might be instrumental in some of this this discovery that we're seeing happen in June. Maybe this is part of how you're making these discoveries, because you are looking deeper into your placements and what's going on for you, really looking into the self with this dragon card. So it's giving me that feeling again. This is kind of a message to flow with the energies during this month and not against them. So you might want to pay attention to what's going on, kind of working to build energy during like that new moon kind of growth phase, and working to kind of pull back a little bit during the waning moon phase. So yeah, I feel like that might be important to you, the waxing and the waning of the moon this month. So it might be important to kind of pay attention to those cycles, because I kind of feel like that might be that balance of the bee and the lamb. Like there's a time to go hard, there's a time for the newness, for the openness, and then there's a time for growing, and then there's a time to kind of pull back and reflect. And that might be important. So really working with the cycles this month. Also, I feel like this is important to point out for you. Mercury is in retrograde, and that retrograde ends on June 3rd. So this might actually be a direct message about that, that it might be important for you to know about that. If you've kind of felt like you weren't making much progress or as much as you wanted to, you might have felt like things were moving in the opposite direction or things were at a standstill for you. This is a message that after that June 3rd mark, it's really time for you to go, or things might start opening up, and progress might be easier for you to make. So when Mercury goes direct, I think you're going to feel that burst of energy and that new wave and that momentum coming towards you. And that's maybe where you get all of this energy from. It does go direct just right in the very beginning of the month, the 3rd. So if you're not feeling that energy on the 1st of June, don't worry. Like, things will start picking up. The first couple of days might be a little bit slow, but don't let that get to you, because I think that really is important to you. And I think that might be why that card came out, because it might not be immediately apparent for you. Kind of let those energies settle down a little bit, and then it's like you get a burst. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, letting me read your cards. If you like this video, if these messages resonated for you, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye! Hi, number 3, if you picked the Smoky Quartz, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out what's going on for you for the month of June 2022. So let's dive into your tarot and see what cards we have. So first we have the 9 of Swords. Okay. Let's see what else. We have the 6 of Swords. Okay. A lot of Swords energy here. Really, really interesting energy already. And then we have, oh my goodness, the 10 of Swords in reverse. So, whoa. There's a lot of swords going on here. All swords energy for you. Wow, you're going through so much transformation during June. I feel like you're not going to recognize yourself by the end of the month. And I mean that in the best way, because this is actually a lot of heavy energy, and it looks like you're shedding a lot of this during the month of June. The journey of your month ahead is really dominated by this Swords energy, and the Suit of Swords represents everything that's mental. So that's our thoughts, our beliefs, even our attitude towards certain things. And it looks like you're leaving a lot of old stuff behind. And I think your focus during June is to find the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm picking up on the fact that this reading is likely going to be very specific and might not, probably won't apply to everyone. This probably won't resonate with everyone. So if this isn't your group, if going into this you're thinking like this doesn't sound anything like me or anything I've experienced, then feel free to check out reading 1 or 2, because I want to do this reading. Like, I want to do this because for those of you that this is for, you need this. So, yeah, things might get a little heavy. And if that doesn't seem like you, please check out one of the other readings, but I'm going to continue with this. So, this looks to me like you have struggled with a lot of worry and anxiety, maybe even depression at times. And by all means, if this is something that has overwhelmed you, and if you need help or you need to talk to somebody, seek that out. Do that. There's no shame in that. Everybody goes through this. I've gone through this. There's like literally no judgment here. But sometimes it might be helpful to talk to people. as I'm saying that, I have kind of that like, well, nobody can help. Like I can hear it. I can hear the thoughts that might come, or the objections that might come up, or maybe you've tried this before and it just feels like nobody really understands, or like there's nothing I can do about the problem, or whatever. I have felt that same way, so I totally understand that. I would still say there might be somebody who can relate and who can understand. So it's nice to just connect. So if this is your pile, and if you have struggled with some anxiety issues, or if worries have been getting the best of you, especially in these last couple of months, and if you feel comfortable, put that in the comments so that everybody can talk to each other about it. You know, maybe that's a way to connect with people over this. But what I will say is, I don't like to see that this is what you've been going through. It makes me sad because I don't want anybody to feel like this, because I know what this feels like. But I will say that this Nine of Swords energy, it's opening up your reading, and then we've got like change and transformation. So the reason that I'm saying like this is a big change for you, and this is something it's very important. Like this feels like a very important time for you, because this is about you leaving this behind. Some of you might even be entering June in a really good place to leave this behind, or already like working on this, because you're following that Nine of Swords with the Six of Swords energy, and then the Ten of Swords in reverse. So that's about this kind of letting up as you move to a new place, as you move to a place that isn't quite as turbulent, that isn't quite as heavy. It's the energy lightening. But I feel like your guides showed me this for a reason. And I'm telling you, this energy is moving through, it's passing. Even though this looks kind of severe, it's passing, or it has already passed, or like you're in the process of it, because yeah, the cards couldn't have come out in a better order than this. But I think it's important to address, because your guide showed me this for a reason. Like, we're talking about this for a reason. So I think some of you may have a really big decision to make, or you're about to make a big change in your life, and this has caused you a lot of worry and anxiety. So I do want to say, for some people, this could be a chronic thing. This could be something that you have experienced for a long time. Thankfully, that seems to be coming to an end, and really kind of the pressure of this is alleviating in this month of June. For others of you, this could be about one particular thing that's been worrying you or bothering you. And the same thing is true. The worry will be vanishing during the month of June. You're going to be moving out of that place of worry. So what's really important to me is, what I've been seeing in these readings is that there's a collective energy of new beginnings, of some kind of growth and change. Your message, like, I'm not sure I would have even picked up on that seeing these cards, but because I already know, because reading 1 and 2 were very similar in that way, that it was all about newness, I can see how this ties in. So I think that the collective energy of new beginnings and something new coming is true for you as well. This is more about you leaving a lot of stuff behind, though, and that's what really opens up that newness. Like, leaving the stuff behind is what is opening up the door for the next thing. The Ten of Swords is about the end of a very troublesome cycle in your life, a troublesome period in your life, because tens are about completion, and they're about starting on a new cycle. So you are definitely moving out of this place. I think you're experiencing so much growth and transformation, and sometimes that growth, especially if it happened really suddenly and very fast, it can bring up a lot of new fears and worries for us. So it's almost like we don't recognize ourselves, we don't know what to do, we don't feel grounded, we don't feel settled. There's sometimes this feeling of like there's no safe place to go, because you know you don't want to go backwards, because you recognize that you have grown, that things have changed, that some stuff is more positive in your life now, and you like where you're going. Or if you were making progress, you certainly don't want to go back to square one and start over. But also, in all the newness, you're not very comfortable there either, because it's new. So this can be like a real source of worry, because it's like, well, where do I go? I don't want to run back to my safe space, but I also don't want to keep going into this new space because it's kind of terrifying. But I see you making the choice to stay the course with the Six of Swords. You're making the choice to like just keep moving because you know that the grass is actually greener on the other side. I know we always say like the grass isn't always greener, but like in this case, it's kind of that feeling of like, I know if I could just get to that place, I'm gonna be good. But getting there can be challenging, and getting there can bring up a lot of fears. I feel like there's a good chance that for a lot of you, you've been really tired, maybe leading up to June, like just feeling exhausted. And this can be because you're not sleeping well. It can also just be kind of a mental exhaustion. But if you've been having trouble sleeping, then I definitely see that here. This is like the feeling of like you wake up and you feel like you never went to sleep in the first place. It feels like your brain never turned off. The thing about that kind of energy is that when you start to feel like your days are blurring together, it feels like you fought a battle, and you fought that battle all night and all day and again and again, and it's never ending, and it is very, very exhausting. So one thing I think that you are aware of is that you don't want to get on a train of negative thoughts or of worries or playing out the worst case scenario about things, because you know that once you're on that train, it picks up speed and it's really hard for you to stop it. So that Nine of Swords energy is always a reminder to us that those fears and those worries are in our head. Like it's only in your head. And I know that sounds so annoying when it's like, and quite possibly there are real world issues like that aren't only in your head. But the reminder here is that sometimes that fear hasn't actually played out, and it's like really a good idea for us to not play it out in our minds so much, because that's kind of giving it power. It's giving it energy. It's in a lot of ways it makes it more likely to happen. So it's better for us to not entertain these negative thoughts. Sometimes voicing that concern, saying it out loud, saying it to someone you trust, or maybe just even saying it to yourself can help to strip those negative thoughts of their power. So that might be something important to you in June. But what I see here is that in June, you're releasing a lot of baggage. You're letting go of self-doubt. You might even be saying goodbye to people who are causing unnecessary stress in your life. And you're changing your mind about something. That's what I see here is like, you're changing your mind. Whether that's you're changing your mind about how you're going to look at things. You're changing your mind about who you're going to spend time with. You're changing your mind about maybe the direction that you were going in life. And now you're going to go in this direction that's going to bring you to this Ten of Swords reversed energy is where you're headed, and it's where you want to go. It's like you're releasing the pain. That's kind of the easiest way I can put it. You're releasing all of that pain. I think, right, like with this reading, it's like it seems so dark, and I am hoping that I want to meet you right where you are. But at the same time, this is an uplifting message. Like, I just want that to be clear. If it's not sounding that way, it's an uplifting message. You are remembering during June that you have the right and that you have the power to change, and you're doing that. You're seeing things in a new way. And being able to do that is what produces growth in us. Even if that growth can feel like it's really painful or it's really tiring right now, you're going to thank yourself for hanging in there later. By the end of this month, you're in the energy of having let go of all of this pain, having let go of things that are no longer serving you, having let go of thoughts that don't serve you. A lot of this is mental. A lot of this is mental energy. The Six of Swords can be a sign of a move or a transition. This can be a new job. It feels like whatever shifts you're making, like they're really important. And maybe scary, to be honest with you. Maybe things that have scared you, maybe big moves. Like you might be moving to a new location, or starting out on a new career path, or letting go of everything that has seemed familiar to you. And if that has been worrying you, you're really you're gonna be finding your footing by the end of the month. It might seem overwhelming, but you're gonna get it together by the end of the month. Even if you're not physically moving, something inside of you is shifting, and it is changing for the good. So the old and the familiar version of yourself is about to be a thing of the past for you. And I'm telling you that if this feels like a positive thing to you, but like it's still very worrisome, you're right about the fact that it is a positive change, because it might not be the most comforting thing to hear if making a change is really freaking you out, that like you're gonna make the change, you're gonna keep doing it. That might not be comforting, but the reality is, just because something's comfortable doesn't mean that it's good, and doesn't mean that it's a good fit anymore. So once you step into that place where like it's feeling really scary to you right now, you're going to see how much easier every aspect of your life gets. So it's like, if you imagine the imagery on the traditional Six of Swords, it's like a person in a boat crossing the water, and you can see that where they're headed is a much calmer place. It's a much nicer place. It's a place that they're going to be happier. The waters are calm, like things look good over there. And that's the transition that you're making. I kind of feel like for a lot of you, this Six of Swords really represents where the majority of your work is for the month of June. And the Ten of Swords is where you're going to be by the end. In reverse. That's really important. That's really important to point out. So you might be like working at a job that's really familiar to you, but it's causing you a lot of stress. Maybe you can't even imagine a world where you don't have to carry that kind of stress around with you, because you've been doing it for so long. And this doesn't have to just be about a job. It could be anything. You've been carrying a lot of stress and pressure around with you forever, and it feels like that's just life. But I think you're really moving to a place where you see that you don't have to. Like, this isn't a requirement. Things can be easier. Things can be lighter. They can be brighter. You don't have to carry all of that on your shoulders. So this goes without saying, but that can apply to people in your life as well. So there might be people who are just making things a lot harder than they need to be, and you might not be able to imagine your life without them. But when you move away from them, you start to see, you know what? Things are a lot better when I don't have to deal with all of that drama, with all of that stress, with all of that negativity. You might be finding that during June. You might be discovering that. Yeah, not everybody that you're used to having around is good for you and is going to help you grow and evolve in a positive direction. So what I'm seeing for you in June is that you're breaking out of the things that have been holding you back. And this is really going to be the key in a lot of cases to silencing some of those negative voices, whether that's an internal voice or an external voice. Because for some of you, this is literally the negativity that other people are bringing into your life, and it's not even your internal thoughts. And that might even be confusing for you, because sometimes you might think it's you. You might think that you're thinking that way, but if you really stop and examine it, sometimes somebody in your life is putting some negative crap in your mind, is speaking negatively about things, is bringing a really low vibrational energy to your experience too much of the time. And it might be time to step away from anybody. I just threw your card. Anybody in your life that's playing that role. It might be time to walk away. So we have the Gazelle, That's fire energy. That's your energy. So you might be a fire sign, but this might be kind of a time where you're discovering some really fiery, spunky side of yourself that has a lot of fight in you. I don't think that that's the energy of like some negative person in your life, because this gazelle is definitely your energy. We have the buffalo. I'm going to pull one more. And we have the snake. This is so beautiful. I'm actually really, really happy for you. I don't want this reading to come across as negative. This is just about growth and transformation. And there might be some things that you're discovering about yourself, about the people around you, about your mindset during the month of June, or that you've been kind of starting to discover leading up to this month. So your awareness is super heightened this month. That's that gazelle energy. That's your energy. Like, yeah, all of this is about you. This isn't even about anybody else, which is, I like that these cards came out, because if some of this negativity in your life is due to outside forces, we are able to look at you, what's happening with you and your evolution, which is the important part, because anyone else in your life that's just only contributing negativity isn't really, I don't really want to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them too much. We may have already talked about them enough, but yeah, your awareness is super heightened. For me, this means that you're seeing the people and the situations in your life for what they really are during the month of June. The gazelle has to be on their game. You know, the gazelle, like, this is a prey animal. First of all, they got to, like, they have to be aware. They have to pick up on the slightest shifts of energy. They have to pick up on movement and get out of dodge. And I feel like this is your energy when it comes to June. So although we had to look at kind of like these dark things, these negative things with these tarot cards, I'm seeing what's happening for you in June. And it's actually really, really positive, because you're finding your power this month. You're really finding some kind of inner strength that you might not have realized you possessed. So I know, like, to some people the gazelle just looks like a prey animal, period. Like, they might even look to some like a sitting duck, because I'm sure we've all seen those videos where like a lion or a cheetah or something, you know, gets a hold of one of these guys. But the issue that I have with viewing this as only a prey animal is, like, you have to think about it. You have to think about the fact that if a gazelle can outrun a cheetah, then a gazelle is pretty darn fast, right? A gazelle is pretty badass, really, if they can ever survive an attack from one of these huge prey animals that's fast, that, like, we would never survive that. So I see more than a prey animal when I look at this, especially the imagery on this card. It's really beautiful. There's something very graceful about this animal, and I think that's the energy that you're bringing into this month. There's something very graceful about you. There's something very intuitive about you. This is the energy of an animal that has to adapt and has to correct course at a moment's notice. They manage to do all of this with a lot of grace and with a lot of ease. And that's what you're doing. You are correcting course in June. You are adapting. You are growing. You are evolving. And you're doing it with a lot of grace, even though it's not the easiest thing in the world for you to do. It's hard. Like, you've faced your challenges. You're going to make it look kind of easy because you move through this so beautifully. There's really no obstacle that's going to get in your way in June. There's no predator that you can't outrun. There's no worry or anxiety that's going to get the best of you. Nobody can keep you down. That's what I want you to understand going into this month. Like, you've got this. You've totally got this. You're taking off with a whole lot of speed after this period of transition. So I also want you to keep that in mind. If it's felt like you're not getting anywhere, like the energy's held back, like you're facing obstacle after obstacle, once you get to this place of putting the stuff behind you, you're taking off like a rocket. So you're going to make up for lost time in the process of that. You're ready to move now, I feel like. June could be a month where you get some sort of news about a situation that's been troubling you, or you find out the truth about something. I'm really picking up on that energy, and I just want you to know that whatever it is that you find out, it's actually going to put your mind at ease. It's going to help you move through this with more grace. You're just so locked into this clarity, and it seems like things are finally making sense to you. Like you're finally starting to understand what's been going on, or starting to understand yourself at a deep level, and you're starting to see what your next steps need to be, what your next moves need to be. So all of this Ten of Swords energy that's been kind of like weighing you down, holding you back, that's felt painful and heavy, yeah, that's fading. And there's a major spiritual component to all of this for you. So this is a month where you are able to receive a lot of guidance. Some of the truths or like the realizations that might be coming to you during June, you might have that feeling like they were just revealed to you. Like you didn't need to do much to search for the answers. It just was revealed to you. If there's a truth you need to see about somebody, you'll just know it. Yeah, there's a deep intuition here and a deep guidance here. I think you have your guides on your side for real this month, really looking out for you and really showing you the way. And this doesn't have to be about a negative person. This can be about maybe you don't know what step to take next. Maybe you're questioning, where do I go from here? Like I'm feeling a little bit lost. What am I supposed to do? You will receive the guidance. You will, it can just be a random thought that enters your mind. Like it can be just like that, just like that. Randomly, you just know. But by the end of the month, you have a lot of clarity. You have a lot of, you're reassured, and there's peace. You have a lot of peace by the end of the month. I think another thing to point out is with all this swords energy, the swords are really about clarity as well. So if you are, we can think of this in terms of like mental stress and things like that, and it really is, and it could have been causing you some stress, but also this is about you gaining a lot of clarity during the month of June. So let's pull some tea leaf cards and see what else comes through for you. Okay, we have Parrot, and this says someone will gossip about all your secrets. Yeah, we're talking about some negative energies here, so let's just keep that in mind. We have Unicorn. Use your intuition to make beneficial changes. I want to pull one more, but then I really want to talk about this because I'm getting like repeated messages here, especially with that Buffalo card and the Unicorn. We also have Bat. Take care. Enemies are working against you. Okay. I don't want any of this to freak you out. You're not going to have a horrible month. I feel like a lot of this energy, for those of you that this resonates with, a lot of this energy you've already been experiencing. June is about wrapping this up, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not just saying that to try to put a positive spin on it. The Ten of Swords is about the completion of a cycle. So if anything, you're going into this month fully aware of all of this, and you're working through it during the month of June. But I do see a lot of you clearing somebody out of your life. It feels like there might be somebody who is close to you that doesn't honestly have your best interests at heart. And you're seeing that. You may have already seen it. And June might be a month of you kind of taking out the trash in that regard, and just cleaning things up, tightening it up, getting around people who who are positive, people who want the best for you. This doesn't have to be everybody in your life. This can be one person. This can be somebody who's not even significant to you. This could be somebody that you work with and you just want to keep your distance because you see that this person isn't trustworthy, or maybe you want to get away from the entire job, the whole scenario. Maybe it's all causing a lot of stress, but this is just kind of that energy of like, you might not be able to trust somebody that you thought you could trust. And when you start hearing, like if we take this message literally, when you start hearing somebody else saying something that you told someone in confidence and now like apparently it's spread, that's when you know. And that's kind of like that energy of like something may happen where you're like, oh, I get it now. Like I understand who that person is that's going behind my back. I see it. That could be that energy. And that doesn't have to be for everybody. This might not be about a person in your life. A lot of this can be internal issues, especially when we're dealing with swords energy. It can be mental, like a lot of mental strain and a lot of mental pressure and anxiety that causes these kind of thoughts. I think that what's really important here is that this unicorn card came out, and this is kind of that tapped in energy that I was picking up on, especially with the buffalo. You're tapped in and your guides are there. Like your intuition's on point. You have help. So I think that if there is someone in your life that can't be trusted or somebody that you really need to separate yourself from, you've already had the indication of this. Like you already feel it. You already know. This is not going to come out of nowhere. Your intuition is going to help you make the changes that you need to make, and you will receive guidance about it. Now, when we talk about the bat and take care, enemies are working against you, of course, this can play into this energy of like a potential negative person in your life, but also, this can be internal thoughts, which like Nine of Swords, like basically this card can be the Nine of Swords. So it's kind of like, it's the same energy. Like that enemy can be that voice in your head. That enemy can be your own thoughts, your negative voice. Okay, I'm saying this so weird. There's so many different things I want to say all at once, but it can be a negative voice in your head that's kind of working to instill fear in you, and it can sabotage your success. It can sabotage your growth. And your focus in June is growing. This snake is all about the potential that you have. It's about realizing your potential and growing into the person that you've always wanted to become. So this is really important to you this month. That's where your focus is. That's what's being highlighted for you. So leaving all this behind is instrumental to that growth, and maybe leaving somebody behind is instrumental to that growth. That's really the key here. The key is that you want to grow and evolve, and anything that's stopping you from doing that, you're shedding it in June. It might feel hard, but you're shedding it in June. Yeah, so if that negative voice is the voice in your head, in June, you're telling that voice to shut up. Because you're realizing you can have, do, and be anything that you want. So that voice can just like take several seats. That's basically the energy here. You're noticing it, like you're on to it now. And if it is the voice of someone else that's trying to speak negativity into your life, they can honestly take several seats as well. So it just feels like you're just seeing it that clearly. It's a lot less scary when you see it. And like we said, this is graceful energy. This isn't the energy of somebody who like picks fights with somebody, who gives them the satisfaction of all the drama, who gets hung up or caught up on like a bunch of stuff that just is completely irrelevant. No, you're like, you're rising above all of that. So that's what's important for you in the month of June. You're rising above it. Let's see what kind of messages or advice we can get for you to take into June. We have Mercury. The card says messages, so this is literally about messages. I think that for you, this is This is a lot about the intuitive messages that you're going to be receiving. So this is kind of just like a little reminder to be open to it. This card is right next to this gazelle, and it's like, you see how giant these ears are and how alert this gazelle is? It's like the messages are coming in, let them, receive them, notice, look for them. Because you're going to be receiving a lot of guidance, a lot of instruction about next steps, about what's positive for you, what's negative for you right now. A lot of clarity. Okay, let's see. What advice do we have for number 3 going into June? That much. A ton of cards just fly out. Way too many to take. Let's get one card, please. One card for number 3. Okay, we have music. So I feel like music might be a great comfort to you this month. I'm also seeing that you might be receiving messages through music. So there might be like a song that makes you realize something, that triggers something. Your guides might speak to you through music. And I think that this music is going to soothe a lot of it can soothe a lot of anxiety. It can soothe a lot of worrisome thoughts for you. Also, maybe like listening to some kind of soothing song, or what am I trying? I feel like some kind of like meditative type music might help with any sleeping problems that you're having. So that's just like random message that might be helpful to somebody. But yeah, I think you're going to be getting a lot of messages through music, like with these 2 cards coming out. And also that it just might be a great comfort to you. If you are musically inclined, this might be a way for you to deal with stress and anxiety as well. So that can just be kind of a soothing, comforting activity for you in the month of June. So I think that's all the messages I see for you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. I really hope this message resonated for someone, because I feel like it was maybe important to hear, and I just hope it didn't take on too much of a negative tone, because I think that June is actually going to be a really beautiful month, and like a really instrumental and pivotal month for you. So it's actually very beautiful energy, but a lot of growth, a lot of things to work through, and we all have to deal with that from time to time. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you liked this reading, if any of these messages resonated with you, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye.